Ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, it's Scott Hammond with the 100% Humboldt podcast. Welcome. With my new best friend, Don Chin. Hi, Don.
Hey, Scotty.
What's going on?
I'm doing well.
It's good to see you. I'm doing well. I haven't seen you since yesterday or Monday.
Right. I saw you twice this week.
That's right. We did a Zoom and then we did a live.
Yeah, live in my playroom.
That's right. That's right. We'll talk about vinyl in a minute. Don't skip forward to the vinyl records now. Hey, tell us the Don Chin story.
The Don Chin story. Well, since this is 100% Humboldt, I am 100% Humboldt grown. I was born here in Eureka in 1963.
Wow.
My parents are Ben and Mary Chin. My father, he passed about 7+ years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people know him from Chin's Cafe, being a restaurateur, one of the first Chinese people to come back to Humboldt after they expelled them in the late 1800s. And so they've got a mural over by Co-Central Bank of him when he was a veteran. Lived a ripe old age. I think he almost made it to 100.
Wow.
And so my mom is still living, and she lives close to my old stomping grounds here in Myrtletown.
Wow. Yeah, we're not far away.
No.
Here in ours.
No, I could have walked here.
You could crawl here. We're in the historic Myrtletown district of Eureka, which is right over here on my prop. Do you see my prop map?
Yes.
I'll get you one of those because you're a Humboldt County realtor.
I am.
We'll get to talk about that. You should get a Metzger map courtesy of your new best friend.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
They're really nice. Yeah. It's really trippy when you sit there and stare at it. What a weirdo, right?
You listen to Pink Floyd and stare at it, or?
You could. I hadn't thought of that. That's a great idea. So you went to grade school. Tell us about your schooling through Eureka, and then did you go to Humboldt State?
Yes. Actually, I grew up in Myrtletown, so Worthington was my elementary school. Mm-hmm. And so I started there. I was smallest guy in my class. Mm-hmm. I think my mom started me before I was like not even... I may have been like in my late 4s when I started, so not even 5. So being small, that was kind of a challenge. Uh-huh. And being Asian, that was kind of a challenge because there were too many Asian kids in my class. But after that, I went to Zane Junior High School, and I graduated there, I think, in 78. And then I went to Eureka High. I graduated there in 81.
Wow.
And then I went to Humboldt CR. I even went to a place where you trained to work for airlines.
Oh, really?
In my youth, and I thought I might have been wanted to be like a ticket agent, but that wasn't for me. So,
what'd you study at Humboldt?
I went in wanting to be a film major, Scott. I was really influenced by filmmakers like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas in my youth, growing up and watching Star Wars. So I always thought, what it would be like to maybe be a film director.
Wow.
So I started making films with my classmates, even when I was in elementary school and junior high, and that continued through high school. And I would send in my films, and some of them would do well in some small film festivals. And so I thought, well, why don't I make the jump and go to Humboldt as a film major?
Cool. And
then I found out that real actors are kind of weird. So they weren't like hanging out with my friends in high school.
Yeah.
So I took a little diversion and I went into journalism, but more of a cartooning journalist. And so that kind of fueled my comic book craving as well, because comics is something that a lot of people know me for as well.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself.
I know. It's all
real estate, comic books, vinyl.
I know. It's like we can just
Plus
talk for 4 hours today.
Tri-City stuff. So I knew you from the Tri-City Weekly. Some of you locals will remember the Tri-City Weekly. It's remember that thing called a newspaper?
Yeah.
It's on newsprint. And I did 20 years at the Tri-City.
Wow.
I know. 83 when I had hair.
Were you the longest tenured employee?
I would say continuously, except for Ron, the owner.
Okay.
I had to think about that for a second. Gary was on and off, so he might have had some seniority, but he took off for a couple of years to do the Lighthouse Ranch with Gospel Outreach out in Lolita.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah, and, we met. My wife and I were doing pre-press.
Yeah.
For the Tri-City.
Describe what pre-press is, because I know you guys were part of Ron's team, but you actually had your own business too, right?
Yeah. When you do comics, you kind of learn the process of how to do printing. It's not. It was just starting to get into the digital realm back then,
Right.
like in the 80s and 90s.
Apple.
So yeah, Apple, Macintosh. So our comic books, we were doing. First, we started with black and white comics, which doesn't require a lot of expensive equipment. But then when you start doing color comics, which we started to do, it involves a lot more computers, digital, storage space. So we started to do our production on comics using desktop publishing equipment.
Wow.
Like Macintosh.
Cutting edge.
Yeah, pretty cutting edge for the day because, before the 80s, there really weren't too many people doing stuff with computers and comics. It was all hand-drawn, hand-colored, hand-lettered, everything. But then when computers came into play, people were starting to say, oh, I can make, I have this huge range of colors I could use. I can do my lettering with a computer instead of having to cut it out with an X-Acto knife.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah. So my wife was really savvy, and she basically taught herself how to do color separations, which everything that you have printed that's in color would need to be color separated.
Sure.
And so my wife was doing some calculating. She's very smart. And she said, if we did our own film, I could probably save you like $2,000 per project. And I'm going, okay, well, that makes sense because we're doing like several books a month. And we kind of did the math, and we saw that if we bought this equipment for like $100,000, we could easily save that like in a year.
Right.
So we bought that, and we had this huge setup in our house in Virginia when we lived there, and we were doing color separations. And when the comic book business kind of went belly up, we knew Ron, and Ron said, I need somebody that can do color separation. So would you come, if you come back to Humboldt, would you maybe partner with us, and we'll have you set up a shop in our Tri-City building to do color separations. And that's kind of how.
So maybe for a fancy Pearson's ad or something like that, front page.
Right.
That had multiple layers of color.
Yeah, because I think before Ron had to send out.
Probably had to job it out.
Right, out of the area.
Talking about Ron Pileggi. Hey, Ronnie.
Hey,
Tri-City
Ron.
Weekly, Lighthouse Ranch, all the guys and gals from a bygone era, right? Seems like
it does.
A different life ago.
It does.
When there was a newspaper and no internet and just all the weirdos working together. But we take great pride in letting you know at the Times Standard, you pretty much got an ass whooping in terms of advertising and just a better product. Just saying, just for the record, I'd like to go on record as saying that it felt good every year to outdo you in so many ways.
Well,
is that arrogant or is that just true?
Graphically, Tri-City was just a good looking.
40,000 copies, Garberville to Trinidad every week. And, I meant to ask Ron the other night, I don't think he ever missed an episode, an edition. I think they always published contiguously.
Like 52 weeks out of the year.
And 40 years or however long it was till Times Standard bought it and sunk it.
That was fun.
Yeah. Good run. Good guy to work for. My dad called him a prince of a guy.
Very nice guy.
Yeah. Took care of me and my wife and 9 kids and on one income in Humboldt. And, my son goes, Dad, you couldn't do that today. I go, Mikey, he goes, Dad. I go, you're right. There's probably no way. If you're just joining me, my new best friend, Don Chen from born and bred in Eureka and CR and then Humboldt. And so what took you guys to Virginia?
Well, we were doing comics pretty much full time. And a lot of the distributors that we were using back in those days were over there. And we were just finding we lived in Humboldt most of our life. So we kind of wanted to just kind of see what life in another part of the country would be like. And one of my main artists named Bill, he was from Virginia Beach. Oh. And we kind of, we used to watch the 700 Club with Pat Robertson. And that's all we knew about Virginia Beach was Bill Mouse and the 700 Club. And we thought, that sounds
Check it out, yeah.
Like interesting. We live on the coast, West Coast, but we never lived on the East Coast.
Is that Bob Jones University there too? There's a couple of super conservative Christian universities.
It may be, but Regent was the one.
Regent. That's where Tom Stansbury went.
Right.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
We
another Tri-City.
Yeah. So during that period, I had a Pat Robertson bumper sticker for president.
I heard.
On my car. My politics have changed just a little. And I was driving through Arcade, and man, I got the hand signals.
Wow.
Yeah, just, hey, how dare you fly your flag, bro?
Yeah. Well, he'd always pray away the hurricane, so we always try to stay on his good side.
Hey, Pat, thanks for the prayers. He's dead now, right? Did he die?
He died, yeah.
No. Well, you might argue he's very much alive.
That's true.
Anyway, maybe more than ever. So say we all. So you guys came back from Virginia Beach back to Eureka Beach.
Yeah, we lived there for about 3 years, and we were starting to get a little homesick, and then there were some family members that had passed, so we kind of felt like, maybe we should go back to Humboldt, and the comic book business was kind of starting to fizzle out.
But you got sort of famous in that time period or right after with, tell us about the hamsters.
The black belt hamsters.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to Humboldt State, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had just started to come out.
Sure.
I think they debuted in 1984.
They were a big deal.
They were a big deal, but they started out just a couple of guys from the Boston area, and they just borrowed some money, and they got this weird concept comic book published. And before long, it just started to catch on, and stores were buying it. And I was running a computer store while I was going to Humboldt in the mid-'80s.
That's right.
I think you used to sell ads, or you or Jeff Kessinish used to sell ads.
Both, yeah. Where was the store?
This was called Comic Castle.
Was it downtown?
Imperial Square, like right.
Yeah, you had a little store.
Yeah, it was second story of Imperial Square where it used to be Tommaso's.
Right.
But there's still offices up there.
And John Sullivan was your number one
John Sullivan,
customer.
One of our graphic artists at Tri-City. Super nice guy.
Great guy. Hi, John.
Hi, John. Yeah, so basically I had a Mad Magazine kind of mental, that was the way I was built, to do satires. I felt like that was my niche as a writer, creator. And so I just kind of thought, well, this Ninja Turtles thing is so absurd. I wonder if I took it one step further, how might it be received?
Right.
And so I just came up with this crazy concept of adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters.
Yeah.
I doodled them during a college lecture, and I took it to my friend Parsanovich, who was the best artist I knew that lived here locally. And I said, I think I can come up with a story, about these characters. Would you be interested in drawing it on spec? I'll pay you when we get paid. And he didn't really have anything else to do, so he did it.
Nice.
And we shopped it around, and eventually it got picked up by a publisher out of Guerneville, California, believe it or not. Guerneville, Eclipse Comics. And they decided, yeah, we'll give it a shot. And they got orders over like 75,000 copies.
Wow.
And it was by a couple of guys that no one had ever heard about before. So
that's, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And then it started just snowballing after that. They said, I know you just wanted to do one issue, but it sold so well. Would you consider making it a series? So I did, and eventually it sold over 500,000 copies and wound up on Jeopardy, and just kind of a weird cult comic book.
So it was a Jeopardy question?
It was a Jeopardy question.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Do you have that episode recorded?
I do. It's on YouTube. If you look up Jeopardy Black Belt Hamsters, you can find the little.
I'll look for that. That's pretty cool.
A little short.
Yeah. So what crashed the comic book industry? The web?
Greed.
Greed. Worse, the greed.
Well, see, what happened was after I did the hamsters, it kind of opened up the floodgates for everybody and their brother that wanted to do another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book. So after the hamsters came out, there must have been like another 10 funny animal action.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, even Marvel tried to do one with like thermonuclear pachyderms or something like that.
That's good.
So the market started getting flooded with all these independent creators like myself, and it was kind of challenging the big two, which were Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
And so there just started to become a glut. So there's too many speculators, not enough sales, and the dealers were just having to buy everything thinking that this could be the next Turtles. And unfortunately, the dealers bought too much and they had too much inventory and they couldn't get rid of it. So then the domino effect happened. We started seeing stores close, distributors close. They couldn't pay the publishers. And so we were one of those publishers.
Oh, man.
So it just kind of.
Hate that.
Yeah, but we were doing really well for a while. We were selling like, our market share was just as good as Archie or Mad Magazine.
Crazy.
For a small company.
Yeah. So we had my book published, and I had it in Borders Books down here in Eureka.
Sweet.
And then they crashed.
Oh, man.
Couldn't get my books back. Dang it.
Oh.
Or all the money they must have collected. Millions. Yeah, publishing, it's a thing.
It is a thing. It's quite enjoyable when it goes well, but it's hard. It's hard work.
We'll make segue to real estate after I say, welcome, friends, to the 100% Humboldt podcast. I'm your host, Scott Hammond, and you're lucky to have my new best friend, Don Chin, here. And so you must have transitioned somewhere in there into real estate.
Yes. So let's
because you're definitely a real estate icon.
Thank you.
In Humboldt.
So what happened was that while my wife was doing all this work for Ron at the Tri-City, I was just kind of thinking, well, I know how to edit comic books. I know how to write comic books. I know how to publish them, but now there's no market.
Yeah.
So what do I do? And my wife said, you've got a natural sales ability, and I've always been kind of an entrepreneur.
Sure.
And I think she saw a classified ad. It might have been in the Tri-City. I'm not sure, but it said Coldwell Banker is looking for realtors.
Oh, how about that?
So I answered an ad to go work for Coldwell Banker sellers in Arcata.
Oh, Greg Anderson.
Yeah. And Greg, Betty Dobkin, and they basically said, if you sign up with us and you do your education online and you pass your test, you pretty much automatically have a job, with us.
Wow.
And it was straight commission.
Sure.
So it was like feast or famine the first couple years.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of got my feet wet in real estate. That was back in 1998. They gave me the Realtor Rookie of the Year award back then,
cool.
which was nice.
What year was that?
98.
Wow.
So I've been doing this for almost 28 years.
Almost 30.
Yeah. So I've been selling real estate, mainly residential real estate here, Eureka, Arcata, McKinleyville.
I would say you're good at known for integrity and just making it easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our friend Charles McCann is one of my role models. What
a great man. We rented from his parents when we first married in Arcata.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they called it the honeymoon suite. It was $250 a month. Top floor of a big Victorian.
Oh,
they were great. Chet and Esther McCann.
Is this in Arcata?
It's in Arcata. Something in K Street, right by the Vets Hall.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy, man. I love that family, and yeah, go back a ways with them. And so, how did you transition out of Arcata back to Eureka? Did you go to work for Community after that, or?
About 4 years with Coldwell Banker, I was kind of just thinking, maybe I could go to someplace where I wasn't having to pay a franchise fee. Because when you work for one of these big name brand offices,
right,
they will charge you a franchise fee and normally take a cut of your commission.
Sure.
And so, I was raised in a family, and I just thought if I could cut costs, I could probably make more and take home more if I worked for somebody else. So,
imagine that.
Yeah. So I shopped around, and I found out that Community Realty was a local independent brokerage. And
still are. Yeah,
they're still here. And they basically said, if you come work for us, you don't have to pay us anything other than a desk fee.
Wow.
And I thought, well, that makes sense.
That's Brian Dunlap.
Brian Dunlap is the current owner, but Joyce West and Tom Bronchetti were the ones that hired me. And so I've worked with them since 2002.
So you're still there?
I'm still at Community.
Oh, wow. That's going back. Hey, Brian.
Yeah. Hi, Bray. Hi, Bray.
I like Brian.
He's probably golfing or flying his plane somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe he's flying his plane to go golfing.
Probably.
Or are you golfing to fly the plane?
It's a business expense.
Yeah, that's right. You write it off. It's a write-off, Jerry. So yeah, real estate in Humboldt County. Let's talk about that. Maybe past, present, future. Just a real quick overview. Is it a good time to buy a place in that county?
In Humboldt County, I would say it's definitely more of a buyer's market right now. And it's not quite, to me, it hasn't been quite as busy as it has been this year than it was in previous years. But I'm still plenty busy. I have probably about 8 or 9 listings currently.
Wow. In a down economy.
But I'm noticing that when things were hot, they would just kind of stay on the market for maybe a week, and you might expect to get multiple offers. But now I'm seeing that homes, even the ones that are kind of priced for first-time home buyers, those are still taking quite a bit longer than they used to sell. And I'm not sure it's because of the interest rates or the economy, but I've just kind of seen that every once in a while you'll get one that you price right in the pocket, and it'll go like within a week.
Yeah.
But there's some that I've had that are, just kind of staying on the market, and I'm telling sellers, you just have to be patient.
What's the best rate right now for a 30-year fixed?
Gosh, I didn't look today, Scott.
Or roughly.
I'd probably say
6.
Yeah, 6 or under 6. Coast Central actually has a really good rate, local.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to shop around,
Coast Central, Sam Sin, my good friend, is the. Hey Sam, good job on winning North Coast Journal Mortgage Guy of the Year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just met him at a function maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
He's a great guy. He worked for me at State Farm and in my office downtown, which is in Eureka, by the way.
Yes, Eureka.
Yeah, can't say enough nice things about Sam. Good man. Knows how to hustle.
Yeah.
So tell us about real estate going forward. Is obviously housing has come up a lot in the podcast in terms of the shortage. Do we have a big inventory now? What are you seeing for the future with your future glasses?
Yeah, I think Charles, in fact, Charles, who we just talked about, he has a monthly newsletter that he puts out that kind of is a snapshot of his, he's been keeping track of like real estate trends in Humboldt for like the last 20 years. He'd be a great guest for you to have on as well, I think. But what he does is he takes our MLS and he'll parse out pendings, solds, actives, and he's got a running chart that, like I said, is over 20 years. So it kind of shows you what the median home price is, how many days on the market. So I would definitely say you can sign up for this newsletter for free, and Charles will send it to you each month, and it tells you kind of like how the market is headed. And so I think right now the median home price is probably somewhere in the mid to low 400s for a house, like 3-bedroom, 2-bath. But I would personally love to have starter homes because I think they're a lot easier to sell.
Yeah, wish there's a lot more of those.
Right.
Yeah, it's certainly shifted. So let's talk about, so you're entrepreneurial and you hustle and you do side hustles, and you sold San Francisco Giants baseball stuff, and you have an eBay store, right?
Yeah, I've had an eBay collectible store since like in the 90s.
What's that about? What do you sell, and what's your most chief memory, the biggest sale?
I've been kind of a hoarder in my life, Scott. So I'm already big into comics.
Yeah.
So I had a store and I had thousands of books. That's why I opened this comic book stores, because I had too much of my own personal comic book collection.
Is that true for vinyl now too with albums?
It's true for vinyl.
We'll talk about that.
I'm a big baseball card, football, basketball card collector. So I went into eBay thinking, because my wife was probably saying, you have all these cards. Are you ever going to do anything with them?
They just sit here.
Yeah. And I'm going, well, I could sell them, and as hard as it would be. But so I started to delve into eBay. And so I think we've done, probably over 20,000 eBay sales.
Wow. That's a lot.
Since we started.
So cards are, people will complete collections, right? So they'll need 5 cards to get the tops 1982 lineup.
That's kind of what I started with, was like the baseball cards and whatever I thought was a popular player. But then my wife said, you put a lot of work into just listing one card. Wouldn't it be better if we found something that you could buy wholesale, or we could buy wholesale, and then you can just put in one auction and have multiple items available and not have to redo an auction.
Wow.
So she looked into this, and my wife Laura is very, very brilliant, and she found a distributor to sell these collectibles like music boxes and plates with Marilyn Monroe or Elvis Presley, Thomas Kincaid. So for quite a while there, we were just kind of supporting ourselves when things were slow in real estate by selling collectibles online. So over the years, it's kind of went from trading cards to these music boxes and so forth. And now we're not really doing that so much. So now I'm mainly selling vinyl. And actually, it's kind of weird because now digital trading cards are kind of a thing.
They're different, yeah.
I sell digital baseball cards. People, they try to wrap their heads around it. It's almost like a...
Is it a file?
It's like an NFT, you know? It's like there's a trading card app that Topps has called Topps Bunt, B-U-N-T. And you can go to the App Store and you can download it for free. But in order to buy packs that are more highly sought after, you have to pay money.
Of course.
So it's almost like collecting, like on my phone, I have probably about 400,000 cards on my phone that I can access. And if someone wanted to offer me money for one of those cards, I have an eBay listing that says, if you look at my account, you can make an offer on a card and I'll quote you.
Wow.
And so that's kind of how I sold. Honestly, I had a guy that bought probably about $10,000 worth of Aaron Judge digital cards just this year from me.
The Bitcoin of baseball cards.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
But the thing is that if Topps ever wanted to stop the app, you have to realize it's a game. You don't physically have the cards. So if they decided to end the app, there goes your investment.
They go belly up.
So it's kind of it's been going on since like 2012. But I think it's still going strong.
I've heard of this. But you actually have Giants baseball stuff, right? Like,
yes, a big collector of Giants. My dad grew me up as a baseball fan and listened
tell
to
us
the
about
radio.
how the Giants are doing this year, Don.
Do you really want to know? They're doing not as good as the Padres. That's your team, right?
And not as good as the Dodgers.
No.
The Padres are not even,
Dodgers are kind of slumping right now.
Are they good?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
They're humbling. Even they got Tarek Skubal. They lost.
Really?
Yeah.
You should get Aaron Judge.
I wish we could have got Aaron Judge.
Man.
That's the whole...
Yeah.
That's a sore subject.
He was for sale and they... who got him? He's still in New York.
The Yankees.
He's still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, sore subject. I won't go there with you. Hey, let's do the quiz. Do you want to win one of these really cool... I know Laura probably likes
she does like chocolate.
Do you know I know a woman in my life that loves chocolate too. Loves this chocolate.
Dick Taylor.
Yeah, don't get carried away yet.
Okay.
Easy now.
I don't think I've had the vanilla milk chocolate.
It's good. It's delicious.
I like
anything they touch is delicious.
Yes.
I got to get my prop going over here. Ladies and gentlemen, the
quiz. Oh no.
The quiz. If you're just joining me, it's Don Chen. He's going to join us in our 100% Humboldt quiz for all the marbles. And
oh boy,
would you like a digital milk chocolate bar? It doesn't taste that great.
That's not going to go over.
Yeah, no, this is the real one. Okay, first question. If you could live one day in history and you could be there for that day, Don Chen, what day would you pick to live in and be part of?
That's it's almost a tie, Scott, because I was thinking, a lot of people would probably like to go back when Jesus was walking the earth, and see him perform miracles.
So like a good miracle day for Jesus?
Yeah, that would be,
cool.
I don't think I could handle the crucifixion, but a good miracle would be, the crucifixion was very important, but...
Maybe he fed the 5,000, then he walked on the water that night, right? They went across the lake.
That would have been, just seeing him heal people would have been
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. But I also was just thinking in a more practical view, just to go back and relive the day that I got married to my wife to really appreciate that. Because I think I was just kind of scatterbrained that day and I wasn't really...
The fog.
Yeah. And
you don't even remember the cake or anything.
So, but she's been with me through thick and thin. So I think just savoring that, even though we have it on VHS tape, it's
just to redo it.
Right.
And be present.
Exactly.
And that's the hardest thing in a wedding. That was my answer too. I got asked the question today. I go, probably my marriage day.
Oh, really?
And the honeymoon, the whole thing. Yeah, it was great.
Good.
Anyway, hey, good answer.
Thank you.
Number 2, what's life-giving and life-draining for you?
Oh, man. Life-giving, life-draining. I think serving others is life-giving. I mean, I'm part of I've been in different churches off and on, but currently in a Rotary group as yourself,
Yeah.
Southwest Rotary Group. And I like doing community projects that benefit people, like playgrounds. And, we're doing lots of events that help people, like with Humboldt Search and Rescue, their dogs, the dog team. And,
oh, yeah, they're great.
And things like that.
I had her on the show. She was amazing.
Yeah, Meals on Wheels is, I think, our current Martinis by the Bay fundraiser.
I was going to mention Martinis by the Bay is coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up in just, I think, later this month.
One might argue that's a community service.
I don't drink, but I do know that it does bank a lot of money, and people have a good time.
And drinkers are often generous people. Just saying.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah, they can. With enough drinks, they can get really generous.
Yeah. You said, what's the most life draining?
Yeah.
Probably just regret over some of my decisions in life.
Yeah.
Just thinking, like, before God, what kind of person I was, and but I don't want to live in shame and regret. That's
right on.
That's what I think a lot of people find themselves in, and I've kind of developed a lot more maturity in my later years in my faith walk.
Nor does God want us to live in shame and
absolutely
that shame and blame weird space. Okay, question number 3. So far, you're doing okay. Question number 3. What are your best lessons you've learned from life, from defeat or failure?
That's a good one. Not to give up. Yeah, because a lot of the, like for my comic books and for real estate, it was slow. Because when I started real estate, I don't think I sold anything for like the first 8 months.
Wow.
So I was pretty discouraged, and I was doing all the stuff that you're supposed to do when you're a realtor, but when it's like strictly commission, you're not making anything. So that's probably why I had eBay on the side, was just to
live,
to make something. And so that was humbling, because when the comic book business failed, a lot of people went bankrupt. Even Marvel, I think, had to declare bankruptcy back then. And so while we were living large in the comics for quite a few years and selling a lot, we actually got to the point where when our distributors couldn't pay us, we had to file for bankruptcy.
Wow.
And so here we were living in this beautiful house in Virginia, and next thing we know, I have to move back to Eureka and basically live with my parents.
Wow.
And with my wife and with my daughter. And
that's humbling.
Yeah, very humbling. And, my wife was like burning the midnight oil, working for Ron, trying to pay our bills, while I was thinking, what am I going to do with my life? But thankfully, the real estate job opened. So that lesson, not to give up even in the face of adversity. And, with my writing, I really thought I could try to write for a big publisher. Like I wanted to write for Mad. I wanted to write for Marvel or DC. So I would send them these scripts, and they would give me these rejection letters. And so I thought, well, if they're not going to publish me, then maybe I should go ahead and publish myself. And that's what happened with the Hamsters and with Overload Magazine, which is the first thing that I ever did back in 1979. And Dwayne Flatmo was one of our artists on that. Evan Mills was our graphic designer.
Evan Mills, what's up? What's up, Dwayne?
Hey, Evan.
And D-Wayne.
What
a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a guest. He's a great guy. Last question. What's your biggest victory?
Biggest victory? I'd say my biggest victory is probably over addiction. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I've struggled with a lust issue in my life, and it was really crippling, really hurtful to a lot of people. And I've been, I've been trying to be open with it because I think that if people can see you bring these things out into the light, then it offers them hope. Because if you just kind of keep the secret to yourself, whether it's the bad secret or the secret to overcoming it, that doesn't really help anybody.
Yeah.
But I think when you can kind of say, there's people out there that want to help you, you have to just kind of step out.
It's good.
And make that step. And there's a community called Celebrate Recovery that I think is really good.
All over the world, probably,
Yeah, and locally, the Eureka Church of the Nazarene puts one on every night, every Wednesday night.
Yeah, I know Pierre's son, John Pierre.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, good guy.
Very good guy. And his wife, Missy, is also in mortgage as a real estate
What's up, Bailey's?
Yeah,
Hi,
Bailey's.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're great. Well, congrats. You've done very well.
Wow,
Hey,
that's an hour already?
No, that's not.
Oh, it's not an hour?
No, we're just getting started here.
Oh, no.
This is for you, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy that. Yeah, I think you certainly earned it.
Do you ever eat white chocolate? It's white chocolate, not really chocolate.
No, it doesn't count. It's facetiously and actually it's really I have had white chocolate. It's delicious.
It's good, but it's not really chocolate.
It ain't a chocolate experience. I don't know what's in white chocolate. Just white milk.
I don't even think it has cocoa in it.
No,
it's just sweet and lard.
And that's all these guys do is cacao and sugar.
Yeah.
Although I think this has milk in it, 2% from what are they called? The A2 guys in
Alexandre.
Yeah. They're huge. Smith River and Ferndale.
Thank you.
Which is right over. You're very welcome. If you're just joining us, Don Chin, my new best friend. Can we talk about being Chinese for a minute?
Are you Chinese?
No. I don't think so. We did a 23andMe. That's an interesting thing because you can have the same family and they have different stuff.
Absolutely.
That's trippy, man. There's some trippy DNA.
See, I always thought I was 100% Chinese.
I was told I was Black Norwegian. I don't know what that is.
Seriously?
There's Black German. I think it's known as a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but so what was it like growing up Chinese in Eureka? And tell us about that journey. And I know your dad got highly honored, and you were part of that. And he's an honorable man. And there's an alley, right? The Ben Chin Alley.
That's Charlie Moon Way.
Charlie Moon Way. Oh,
yeah. But my dad is right over there by there.
Right.
And when they did the Charlie Moon Way ribbon cutting, the Moon family, we were there, and they asked us to stand with them while they cut the ribbon, which I thought was really, really cool.
He was quite a guy.
Yeah. Charlie Moon, my dad, they probably would have liked to hang out together. But growing up Chinese for me, I always felt different. Because growing up, there wasn't a whole lot of role models on media other than like Bruce Lee.
Right.
Who was the other one that was pretty popular? Sulu from Star Trek.
Of course. Commander Sulu.
Yeah, Sulu.
Was he Lieutenant Sulu?
That's
George
a good question.
Takei.
Yeah, I don't know. My wife is the Trekkie, so she would know. But I think just growing up, I felt different, and there's definitely some times where I was teased, for being Chinese, and the people do the slanty eye things with their fingers, and make jokes about how they think Chinese people sound and stuff, and that was kind of hurtful. I think I grew up kind of feeling insecure, but I had a lot of friends that were not Chinese, and they were accepting of me. And I grew up in a neighborhood where we, just played like every other kid, play wiffle ball and football, go-karts. And so I had a pretty normal upbringing. But I think there were times where it was hard being kind of different.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it'd be different. And those are the days, because you and I are not too far in distance, where bullying was kind of accepted practice. It's like, I grew up in San Diego, a lot of Mexican Americans, and real melting pot in Nashville City, where I'm from. And it was, again, one of the things we don't like to talk about, but it got pretty ugly here and there. But ultimately, it was very safe. I never got the tar knocked out of me too much.
Yeah.
And so, just different experience there.
I look back and I think, my parents really worked hard to provide a nice home for my brothers and my sisters. So I'm very appreciative. And I know working in the restaurant business, they worked 7 days a week and often 16 hours a day. So they kind of instilled in me a hard work ethic as
That's
well.
Cool. I've heard the only person that Ernie Pearson ever had to rent land from was your dad, because they're right next door on Broadway.
That's true. That's true.
Is the restaurant still up and running?
Chin's Cafe is still over there at 4200 Broadway.
Who owns it?
Actually, I think Paul and his wife, I don't know their last names by heart, but they actually had been leasing it for quite a while from my family. And eventually my mom thought, she's getting older. So she felt like it was time to sell that off. Sure. So it closed maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And actually Pearson's bought it.
Oh, okay.
And then they subdivided the land, because a lot of that land that Chin's has with it goes behind where parking lots could be used for Pearson's. And that garden shop, that actually was my father's land, the whole pond and all that.
So they acquired that.
Correct.
Gotcha. Were you the realtor?
I helped with the paperwork, but I didn't ask my mom for a commission.
Yeah. You're a good son. Atta boy.
Yeah.
That's great. So when we start to wrap up, we're going to start talking about your legacy and what you want to leave behind and how you see that. But before we do, I was thinking, do you have any vinyl here today for me?
Do I have some vinyl? Of course, Scott.
So I'll tell my story while you pull your vinyl. So I grew up in the 70s rock and roll scene in San Diego, and Led Zeppelin, Jethro Tull, and went to both the Cal Jams in Ontario. Never did Woodstock, but had a little vinyl collection, if you will. And 8 months ago on my birthday, January 2nd, my family bought me this very cool stereo setup with Audio-Technica turntable, Onkyo receiver.
Sweet.
4 speakers, couple of Polk, really nice bookshelf. Remember Dave Mulhern that owned Arcada Audio?
Yeah.
He used to sell Polks.
Okay.
Really great. And of course you start the collection with Dark Side of the Moon, and then you're off to the races.
I listened to that for the first time in the last year, and I wasn't blown away. I was expecting something more, but maybe you have to be under the influence.
Well, maybe something. They said you could put that to
Wizard of Oz?
Is it Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
It tracks. They didn't intend for that, but
how fun.
Yeah, Dark Side's, it was way ahead of its time. It was fun. So sometimes in my collecting, which is now an obsession, but nothing like you. You got a basement full.
I do. My wife's, I broke my promise with my wife. So
how did you get into vinyl, by the way? Did you, and how does it go, and how do you buy and sell, trade? And,
I just kind of remember growing up, my parents had that Sears console, the wooden one that everybody has, that with the, it's got the speakers built in and the turntable.
Big bass speakers that you just,
And my brother, my parents would buy me these records, and I just remember from an early age, just a bunch of Disney records that kind of had the story, and you open up the album and you could kind of read a story along with it. So
those are cool.
That was kind of my introduction to vinyl. But my brother, who's like 10 years older than me, he was growing up and he was listening to stuff in the 60s. So he had like Beatles and The Association.
Oh yeah.
Groups like that. And
Stones.
So every once in a while I would listen to those at my house, and that kind of got me introduced to vinyl. And then as I grew up in the 80s, I started collecting in the 70s. You would get your singles down at Payless, the drugstore or whatever.
For 99 cents or 50 cents or whatever.
So that was always fun, just collecting vinyl. But then when CDs and cassettes came out, I just saw my vinyl sitting there collecting dust, and I thought, I don't know if I have any use for these. They're really bulky, and they seem like they're kind of old.
And they're heavy.
They're heavy. And so I made that mistake that a lot of people my age did, and I got rid of a lot of vinyl.
Took it down to Salvation Army for free.
I didn't even know where it is. Yeah.
So funny.
I probably traded it into the works or something. But so I lost touch with vinyl, but then I saw it started making a comeback. Yeah. And so maybe 2 years ago, I just started saying, well, maybe I can buy some of the albums I had.
That recently, okay.
Yeah.
So how did you, what triggered you to do that in terms of just entrepreneurial go, I think there's money in this, maybe.
I wasn't really looking to resell. It was just in my acquisition of the things that I wanted to collect myself. I saw that, this is a good deal. I should pick it up. Even though I might not listen to it, it might be a good investment that I could flip on eBay. So then I found myself going to estate sales and yard sales. And then I started buying bigger and bigger collections. So that's kind of what I've done in the last year. Is
and flipped them to pay for the habit.
Right. So I try to tell my wife that's how I justify.
Yeah.
But she said, I'll buy you these 2 really big record displays. Once you fill that up, then there's no more. And I said, okay.
Sure.
But now,
right.
Yeah.
Are they full? Or is there 2
They're
more?
about 90% full.
That's funny. You must have some good vinyl. One day, maybe I'll get the tour.
I'll let you go into the inner sanctum.
Yeah, right now I'm getting the old Rolling Stones wrinkled up stuff.
Yeah, so this is Scott's personal picks from my
you
collection.
can show it up there right in the camera.
You like the Stones.
That's a really good one. That's big hits. That's a big album.
Yeah.
And then for you more modern guys, there's Prince. Ho. Purple Rain, baby.
Purple Rain. Nick, do you like the Purple Rain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh man, this guy, when he rips on guitar, I had no idea the musician he is.
I know. He's really good.
Maybe still is. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But he was quite the guy.
Just a little guy on a motorcycle too.
Yeah, a little guy from Minnesota.
He's not very big.
Yeah, he was quite really multi-talented.
Very.
Yeah.
So this is is one. You don't have any Prince yet, huh?
I don't. No, this would be my first Prince.
You like the
Windham Hill stuff.
The Windham Hill New Age stuff.
Yeah. So this is Ira Stein. I believe he's a piano player with oboe, and that's Russell. And so they have a label that started in Stanford in the '80s with a guy named Will Ackerman.
Oh, right. I've seen him.
And a lot of it's just this. It's not even. It's eclectic. They thought it was folk, and then it was jazz, and they tried to bucket them, and they couldn't. So pretty much every record they've ever produced.
You've bought a lot of Windham Hill from me. You're my Windham Hill.
I'm the guy. You can turn that on. It's like the Grateful Dead and play it in the background, or Miles Davis, or any sort of jazz. This one's a good record. This band. This is a double record set.
Dylan in the band.
This is Dylan with the band. That's right. Who's Bob Dylan? Had anybody ever heard of him? Basement Tapes.
This is in great shape. I mean, look at this.
Is it?
I mean, this is one of those gatefold ones.
Oh yeah.
With the that's the thing I miss about vinyl is that when you have a CD and a cassette, they only give you like the little square and you open it up and there's no pizzazz or no wow factor. But when you get these and they have posters sometimes and picture books.
Yeah. Let me extrude some of the features, if I may.
Yes.
Number one, you have to sit down and listen to it. I mean, you could run by the record player and throw something on, of course, but it's built to kind of hang out. Versus, I'm listening to Alexa play Jethro Tull.
You have to it's almost like a ritual because you actually have to get up and physically turn the record over.
Yeah,
there's some exercise involved.
And I'm looking at this, and so this vinyl has its digital library tool called Discogs,
right?
As you know, and I'm telling you nothing new, but this is cool. So this tells you the whole story about where this was recorded and who's on the record. But Discogs has these printouts about who was there, how it went down, how it sells, what this is wholesale, what it is retail, what it is El Cheapo, mint condition. So it's really kind of an interesting curation of. And, journey into the past. Speaking of which, David Crosby, Graham Nash.
Yep.
Those guys go way back. And so I think what's been fun for me is I've discovered what I really resonate with and what was really cool and what I thought was cool.
Right.
And now it's Foghat.
Right.
Speaking of which, I bet you have some in there. We'll get to it.
I think that was in the pile that you saved for another day.
Okay.
I gave you a free Eagles.
Oh, look at the Eagles. That's cool.
Eagles' greatest hits.
Who doesn't love the Eagles?
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, and then this Stray Windham Hill. Shadowfax.
Yeah, these guys are really. Are they still an existing label?
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I mean, these guys are 30 years ago too.
Yeah, Yeah, I come across them, and most of them you buy.
So were the Stones. They're still producing records.
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
Jimmy Buffett, that's one of his original records.
Yeah. Parrot Head. Are you a Parrot Head?
Not really.
No,
but he wrote that song that's on that record.
The hit?
Yeah, it's really, Come Monday.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I've never sang on my podcast. You'll be holding me tight.
You're making me hungry for a cheeseburger in paradise.
I know, right?
So Jimmy's great.
Oh, wait.
See, you're in Grateful Dead, and I
so
actually
Grateful Dead people.
I'm not a big Grateful Dead fan, but I have listened to them.
So this is Humboldt right here, folks.
This is a cool one called
Wake of the Flood. Oh,
yeah,
Wake
of the Flood. But this one I like a lot.
That's American Beauty. Yeah,
this is
one of their classic ones. The artwork's really pretty fabulous.
I didn't even know this, but
did you get a poster in there?
Well, it folds out, so it's this huge.
Yeah,
Skulls and Roses. Is that the name of this one?
They call it that, but it's no, it's not American Beauty. It is Skulls and Roses. You're right.
Yeah, Skulls and Roses.
Yeah, American Beauty is a whole other record.
This print was in it. I don't know where it came from.
That's what's his name?
Rick Griffin.
Could be.
I think it might be Griffin.
Yeah, he did a lot of their art for a lot of their stuff.
So there's that.
That's
and
cool.
Then last but not least,
a
Janis Joplin that you wanted.
Kind of heard their contemporaries, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot to be said for the fun of the collection and the hunt and the curation and the hobby.
It's fun. And you've got a cleaner. Do you got an ultrasonic cleaner now?
I don't. I bought a new one though on Amazon. That's really cool. It's a spinner.
It's a spinner?
Yeah.
It's amazing how much grime the records could.
Oh yeah, they sat around. Well, this one I tried to off on poor Nick. This is "The King Is Gone" by Rodney.
Ronnie McDowell.
Ronnie McDowell, not Rodney.
Rodney McDowell was an actor.
Yes, but this guy's this had all kinds of water damage. It was, to your point, this was a disgusting record. It had schmutz all over it, and I put it in the cleaner, and you just saw this before the show. This thing is like sweet clean.
Very true. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's kind of my thing at night when my wife says, I'm going into our bedroom to watch my show, so you can go do your thing, Don. So she gives me like 2 hours, and I'll either play video games for a little bit, or I'll go down and clean records and listen to records.
Work on your curation. The kid's inheritance.
So
yeah, no, I think it's super cool. It'd be interesting one day to do a record podcast. I'm sure they're done, where you just take an artist and talk for an hour about Janis Joplin and have guests. But that's not this show quite yet. But it is fun.
See, now you're a little older than me, because a lot of these groups, I mean, I'm familiar with them, but I didn't really listen to.
It's interesting because we're 3 or 4 years apart, but you loved a lot of 80s stuff, right?
Yeah, I was more of a new wave, like the Cars and
Elvis
Boston,
Costello,
classic rock,
Van Halen.
Yeah, I like some Van Halen.
How about Bruce Springsteen?
Springsteen was okay.
Hall & Oates.
Big Hall & Oates fan.
Cyndi Lauper and all those.
Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Todd Rundgren was like one of my favorites.
He's quite a producer. He's done a lot of musical stuff. He's cool.
And we listened to a lot of Christian music as well.
Right. And that was the beginning of Christian music, when it was too schlocky and
Petra and Sweet Comfort Band.
Oh yeah, no, that's you're going back. I found my other drug dealer in they call it black crack in Florida. Robert sent me a guy named Benny Hester.
He's great. I have a
Benny Hester, dude.
I know.
My brother-in-law Scott turned me on to that guy when Scott was 16. He goes, "Got to hear this guy." He had a cassette, Benny Hester. I go, "Dude, that guy's amazing. He's got this whole worship thing there out of Costa Mesa, probably Calvary Chapel."
And God Ran is his biggest.
Okay, I wonder if that's on this record.
Yeah, it's really touching. I mean, I listened to it just maybe a few months ago.
He had a lot of early Bruce Coburn. He definitely had a Christian bent, and Bob Dylan had his Christian moment, and amongst others. And wow, now you got Third Day, and and even they're old now. So
right, DC Talk. Just listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still.
I like Brandon Lake.
Brandon Lake is very talented.
Lake's super cool. I'd love to see him.
Forrest Frank, I like a lot.
Okay. We're going to go see Whiskey Myers in a week. I don't pretend they're Christian, but they have a lot of God adjacent messaging, so it's cool. Like you too.
Nice.
And you too.
And you too, my brother.
No, you too. So let's talk about your legacy and cap this off here. So what are they going to say? What would you like us to say at your celebration of life? And what would you like to be known for? Maybe a little engraving on the tombstone. What do you think it's going to say?
Wow. I would just hope that people, that I brought light to the world and made people laugh. That I realized that the source of my strength is dying to myself and surrendering to a higher power. I just, I have a couple grandsons, and I try to pass on things that I enjoy, whether it be music or love of certain movies and so forth. And they're big Star Wars nerds just like me. We went and watched The Odyssey the other night, and
was it good?
It was really good, quite intense.
Yeah? Did you see it at Broadway Cinema?
I saw it in the Broadway theater, and they had a bunch of porta potties out in the parking lot because the bathroom's still being remodeled.
Oh, man. Yeah, they had a big blow up of some sort.
I think a fire started.
Remember when that was Pay and Pack home improvement stuff?
Oh, you're right.
Way back. Yeah.
I knew the Phillips that owned that bought it. And part of my eBay venture was I connected with them, and they would give me movie posters to sell.
Oh, that's cool.
On eBay. So I would give them a cut. And at one time they took me to the Arcada Theater because they owned the Arcada. And they had this huge room full of nothing but like 35 millimeter trailers from like movies from the 50s on up. And I looked them up on eBay, and they were selling for a lot.
Wow.
But I think over time there was some kind of copyright thing where the studios didn't want.
The Phillips. I think I know who that was.
Luana and her husband.
Because then it became
Michael,
MTC, maybe Minor Theater Corporation, but go figure.
Yeah, so I've kind of rubbed elbows with different people through the real estate, collecting, eBay, comics.
Sure, you're a jack of all trades, many trades, not all trades.
Yeah, I'm an odd cat.
Yeah, so you're evading the question though. What are we going to say?
What else are you going to say?
What else would you have us? Would you like to be? Would you fancy people might say? Or would you like them to say?
That I loved people. I hope that I made them feel loved and appreciated.
Awesome.
That I was a good son, hopefully a good father, good grandpa, good husband.
That's good.
And it's nice that I have some comics that are out there, and hopefully, after I go, people will still be able to read them and enjoy them, just like I do with like Mad Magazine and things like that.
Right. It's funny. It occurs to me that what we're going to be remembered for is probably not what we think. Gosh, he had a killer selection of records. Man, this guy had good music taste. He's so cool. And, all these bald head ponytail guys. Or maybe the grandkid goes, Grandpa, he was really amazing. Turned me on to, he found joy in X, Y, and Z, and me too. And now I love Jesus too, just like he did. And so, that whole, kind of the stuff we don't see coming, and we don't suspect the impact that we have. But, men of our age now, it's like I'm and women, I pour into people now. I try to make that.
You do.
I try to make that lean in and be present and make that effort, especially with kids and grandkids, to sit there and go, okay, my son is 22. He's preaching about politics, and I'm down in agreement, and I'm just listening. And Joni does a beautiful job of that.
Yeah.
What's up, Micah? You doing okay? And I go, oh, he's just connecting the dots. He's experimenting with a worldview and a mindset and a perspective that isn't mine, and it doesn't need to be, and I don't need to sell him on mine. I'm not sure what mine is every day. Mine's shifting at all times. So, but not everything shifts in my, they're solid too, but I don't need to go change his mind. I just need to be with his mind and hang out and be a good dad.
Yeah.
I hear that in you.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah. Any parting shots? How do we get a hold of Don Chin?
You can
shout out.
You can reach me on. I'm on all social media mainly. If you want to see what I'm up to, I'm on Facebook. My real estate page is donchin.net. I'm on Instagram, X.
Community Realty.
CommunityRealty.net. Yeah. So
I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yep. If you're just joining us, you're way too late for the show. Scott Hammond, 100% Humboldt. We're on all the podcast platforms. We're on Loco. We're on Redheaded Black Belt. We're on Humboldt, Access Humboldt TV and YouTube. So like us, love us, join us, and thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you.